The scene begins with a minion accidentally growing to an enormous size. Whether due to a scientific experiment gone wrong or some kind of villainous plot, the minion is suddenly transformed into a giant, dubbed Minionzilla. The transformation itself is hilarious, with the minion reacting in surprise and confusion as he suddenly becomes much larger than everything around him. As Minionzilla starts moving through the city, his lack of awareness of his own size causes all sorts of comedic destruction. He might step on buildings, knock over vehicles, or accidentally cause structures to collapse, but in typical minion fashion, he does so with a clueless, innocent expression. Despite the destruction, the tone is lighthearted, with the minion more focused on playing or exploring rather than intentionally causing harm. He might playfully try to interact with objects like their toys, not realizing he's too big for them. As always with minions, physical comedy is a key part of the scene. Minionzilla's movements are exaggerated and clumsy, resulting in a lot of slapstick humor. He might trip over something, fall into buildings, or struggle to balance his giant body. The minion's innocent attempts to understand his new size lead to funny situations, such as trying to pick up something tiny, like a car or a person, only to crush it accidentally, or attempting to eat something much too small for his giant mouth. Other minions might be running around trying to help or stop Minionzilla, adding to the chaos. They could be riding on his shoulders, hanging from his clothes, or trying to get his attention by shouting and waving. Their attempts to calm him down or shrink him back to normal size only add to the comedy. Minionzilla's emotions are exaggerated due to his size. When he's scared, his eyes bulge, and his screams are loud enough to shake the ground. When he's curious or happy, his big goofy grin adds to the comedy as he bounces around, oblivious to the destruction he's causing. At one point, he might even start crying, causing even more havoc as his giant tears flood the streets or cause damage. The scene likely concludes with the other minions finding a way to return Minionzilla to his normal size. Whether it's through a scientific gadget, a magical object, or just another funny accident, Minionzilla shrinks down, leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. As he returns to his regular minion form, he's either confused or happy as though nothing happened, while the rest of the characters and the city deal with the aftermath of his giant mischief. The humor comes from the contrast between Minionzilla's enormous size and the minion's naturally innocent and clueless behavior. Watching a gigantic minion wreak havoc without realizing it creates a lot of visual and physical comedy. The scene is a fun parody of classic kaiju, giant monster, films like Godzilla, but with a comedic twist. Instead of a terrifying monster, you have a giant, silly minion who just wants to play and explore. The minion's over-the-top facial expressions, movements, and sounds are amplified by his size, making every moment even more hilarious. His reactions to tiny objects and people are both cute and funny,